a shower, so I wasn't able to go to Veterans Movie Night at Veterans Outreach, so decided to make some popcorn. I did not realize that it was an early show tonight. So even though it says late night with DAGR, this is the late night for me since I've been waking up at 4 a.m. Forget how many days I've done it, but I also been keeping track of that, but I forgot to keep track. I'm trying to be like Alex Hormozy. Like Jeff said in one of his shows, if you want to be like somebody, just do what they do. And Alex gets up at 4 a.m. and goes to bed early every night. He's only 30 years old and he's worth over $100 million. So he's doing something right. He's got a beautiful wife, so it's not going to be too bad to follow exactly what he's doing. I think I've been doing that for top of my head almost a week. I have to double check, but I know I've been keeping track of my morning meditation. I'm on day 10 of 21 for the billionaire morning meditation. I do that, and I also did a bunch of other sleep meditations as well. And I was going to ice my knee this weekend because my knee was really bothering me after working Thursday, Friday, and I forgot to. I just did meditations and I didn't even need it. Like it was bothering me a little bit today, but it's not too bad. So, but without further ado, let's watch the early edition of Late Night in the Heartland with Gosha. I missed it, so I won't miss tomorrow night. She'll be regular time tomorrow. I totally forgot because she's not in North America, so that's probably why they did it early. So, another early day tomorrow. I'm almost done that project. I just started working there Thursday. We already demolished the house. Now we're just scraping the leftovers, and then we'll be smashing the foundation tomorrow. It was a pretty big house, so looking forward to finishing that up and see what the next job is. Meeting them next. Up next, JD.
Still wearing enough
Oh,
layers to insulate
of course.
Alaska. That's why you need the
Commercials to start.
bearskin hoodie, the 6-pot.
Bearskin hoodie. We'll be needing a hoodie soon.
Well, hello and welcome. We are live from the Heartland.
Live from DAGR.
Presentation, if you will.
With
We
DAGR.
are very welcome to have, very happy to have with us Gosha from Cosmic Agency. And we'll get to her right away. It's been a while since Gosha's been with us, and it's always an honor and a privilege and a whole lot of fun to have Gosha here. Now, Gosha, you know this because you've been here before, but I just want to say it to everyone that is here with us and everyone in the chat room. We have a lot of people on this, of our followers that have a lot of different opinions about things cosmological, and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, we're happy of that. But what we want to remind you of is that one of the biggest indicators of the spirituality and even the spiritual intelligence of a person is that they can hold or consider competing arguments, as I try to get my YouTube.
Yes, I agree 100%.
At the same time, so we have people on this channel that wonder whether space is real. That's okay. We have people on this channel that don't think we live on a spinning ball. That's okay. We have people on this channel that are believers in that the new crater type theory. We have people on this channel that are believers that the Earth is flat as a pancake. We have people on this channel that are believers that extraterrestrials would be from extra territories, and that's all fine. That's all fine. One thing I do know is that I trust Gosha as a person. I know that Gosha's not crazy, well, not in a bad way. And I know that Gosha is not stupid. And I believe that Gosha is receiving information and contacts from an extraterrestrial source. Now, contextualize yourself, because it's always good to listen to and learn from intelligent people, and Gosha is certainly one. So with that, I just want to ask you to be polite. I want to ask you to maybe set aside your preconceived notions, and maybe you just might learn something. And by the way,
Probably from
one of the
Uranus.
reasons to have Gosha on is because it's always a lot of fun, and there's nothing wrong with having some fun. And with that, let me welcome in Gosha from Cosmic Agency. You're muted right now, Gosha.
Yes, hi. I know I was muted. That's okay. Now I'm on. Hello, everybody. Hello, how are you doing? Thanks for inviting me. Um, I don't know what to say. Just hello.
Her
It's
hair looks like a
been a
mop.
while, and also my interviews with you disappeared because you lost your channel, right?
They nuked my channel, Gosha. They nuked it when we had 60,000 subscribers. It was just bye
Yeah,
bye.
yeah, I noticed that, and I think I didn't save. I'm not sure if I saved those interviews, so I don't know where they are. They were good. They were good interviews. I'll try to look for those. So anyway, thank you for inviting me on again, and thank you everybody in the chat who is there waiting. I know there are a lot of supporters from the Spanish world as well. So thanks everybody for being here. And very correct what you said. I might add some few words a little bit on
Please.
a little bit later on about what you said about being able to consider various possibilities and integrating different points of view.
Absolutely. Now, Gosha, I know a lot of great things and exciting things have been going on for you. Please tell everybody that is not familiar with you where they can reach you. And I know that you also have a Gaia show as well now, right? Huh?
Well, everybody can reach us at swaru.org, which is SWARUU.org. And Swaru is a name is the name of a main contact that we had in the beginning. It's Swaru Vera, and that's why we named our website after her. It's a bit complicated because later on we met other so-called incarnations or versions of other Sparus. So Sparu is like sort of a one overall consciousness of these different people, but let's not get into that right now in detail. And
Swaru.
yes, we had a show on Gaia. I don't know if we will be renewing or anything. This is paused for now, but we had one season on Gaia as well. Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So give us an update, Gosha, of where you are, what's the status of your contact with our extraterrestrial friends, and just kind of give us a thumbnail sketch of what's going on with Agencia Cosmica.
Yes, Agencia Cosmica. And now actually there are new Polish channels popping up who are translating like crazy, like maniacs, all the information into Polish. And one of the channels is called Agencia Kosmiczna. That's in Polish.
How many languages do you speak, Gosha?
I speak three. I used to know French, but I lost it because I'm not practicing anymore. But yeah, English, Spanish, and Polish.
You know, you are really, and the last time we talked, you were motivating me to learn another language. I used to be fluent in German, but I lost that too because I didn't practice. But I think that it behooves us to be multilingual. It makes you smarter, and it certainly can increase your audience.
We.
Correct?
Tabarnak.
It's definitely true, and also we had a conversation about this with Yaski. Yaski Zvaro, who is the youngest of our friends on board of Toleka in the orbit, and we're talking about the languages, and we both agree that once you actually learn one language, it's easier to learn others. It's like you activate a certain portion of your brain that is
I was
able to
going to say
capture
that.
structures and all that. You open yourself up to that, and then it's easier to learn one language. So I learned English. It was easy to me. English is an easy language, and then I learned Spanish after that. And yes,
Gosha, have you ever talked to Magenta Pixie?
no, who is that?
Magenta Pixie is a lady that's much more into the New Age type of spirituality than I am. But I've had some great interviews with her, and she has a concept of when you, and that's where I kind of first heard of that concept, when you can hold competing opinions in your mind, it allows you to get more information from more sources. And I think there's a correlation between learning multiple languages. It also
Yes.
opens up those synapses and those paths, and maybe even something in the spiritual realm.
Yes, it's true. actually something that defines very much Tibetans who we talk with and as Valunians that sometimes even they sound contradictory to people because they are able to view the same concept from various angles and different platforms and different densities and so on, and they're always teaching us to be able to integrate all these different viewpoints. As Yashi actually said recently, she could even argue flat Earth theory if she really wanted to. I'm not going to get into that right now, the whole flat Earth thing. But with that said, to be able to integrate and consider different points of view, with that said, it doesn't mean that you are not that you shouldn't stand for what you believe from your point of view. If you are somewhere, like for example, okay, with the flat Earth theory, if you're already a strong believer that the Earth is round, and in our case, for example, that's the case, and it's not just a belief. It's well for me and for them especially, it's a fact because they are looking at the Earth from their spaceship. They know it's not flat. So it's not something really to be argued with them, no matter how many excellent points you can bring to the table to argue that. So my point is here to be able to consider different points of view, but at the same time, if you are passionate about certain belief, you will be, and it's okay as well. For example, I am super passionate about my contact and about what I believe certain things to be true, and that's okay as well to be able to be passionate about your belief, but at the same time allow a certain other view to come to the table as well. Um,
Absolutely.
it's not always easy because once you are passionate about something, especially like in my case, like in this contact, for example, am I able to, am I willing and able to allow other points of view, such as that the contact is not real, for example?
Hmm.
Um, well, yes, because we never impose anything, and we want you to decide whether this is real or not.
It's
And
not
in
real.
the end, it will
It's
always
not
be a
real.
decision. But in my personal realm of my internal world, I will be passionate to the end of my days
I'm
about
definitely
this concept
passionate.
being real, and that's my reality. Um, so we could talk about this from so many different angles, and we jumped right into the,
Yeah.
you know,
Gosha, I know I've asked you this before, and you always say that they say, we're not sure, but if you could just one more time maybe ask them if they would take a picture of Earth from out their little window and just send it back to you so we could put
they
this on
probably,
this.
but it's not their decision. It's
And
all for their religion. It's not, you have to understand that there are different types of governments and factions that rule the earth, and so is above,
right,
actually. Even though they are sort of a rebellious group, and it doesn't necessarily work in the same way like on earth that they have to obey those rules, or otherwise, they'll be thrown in jail or something.
right.
But there are all kinds of politics going on, and in
Of
certain
course.
areas they do have to obey
There's always
certain
rules in
laws and
politics. Doesn't
regulations.
matter what
So
planet or
that is
what
one of them. If
a
you
galaxy or
talk to
what
different contactees and people who talk to
dimension.
ETs or claim who talk to ETs, there is no picture of Earth given by anybody, and that's for a reason. And even NASA doesn't give pictures of the Earth. I mean, they claim they do, but they don't from afar.
That's a
So
brilliant deduction, and I salute you for being very frank,
That's true.
frank and
If you
upfront
look at
saying
all
that's
the
true because we all
the
know it's you,
pictures
and
from
it gives you great
Earth over the years,
credibility
they
as well.
look a whole lot different from year to
okay, well,
year.
thank you. I don't know anymore if what I say if it brings me credibility or just the opposite. I just say what I think and what I'm being told, what I believe to be truth, what I understand to be the reality, and let's continue with
That's what
my
makes you
take.
who you are, and that's what makes you a valuable resource in this realm at this time. I really appreciate you being here. And I sent you a few questions that I've kind of spaced off my brain. But the one thing I remember talking about when we first talked about having another show was have our friends, our extraterrestrial friends, ever shared anything with you or weighed in on the subject of race relations here on Earth between humans?
Mm.
Okay, just before I continue with this topic, maybe there are some new people to this show, to me, even though there are lots of we're not some elected few. We just decided to share this. Most people, most contactees do not share
Special.
any of this. And they are from Taygeta. They are from Taygeta in Pleiades. And they are not the only ones out there. We
Oh, the
have been
Pleiadians.
surrounded by the extraterrestrial races of all sorts, and not just surrounded in the orbit, but there is actually, as Yaski says, there is a plague. Plague? How do you say that? Plague.
Plague.
Plague of extraterrestrials actually walking the Earth. Walking the Earth,
I believe that, Goshen.
Yeah.
yes, mingling with people, mixing with humans, doing their operations. It all has to be anonymous. It all has to be done in that kind of way that doesn't break those protocols. And of course, those that are walking the earth mixing with humans are humanoids. But of course, out there, there are all sorts of races. Anyway, so it's Targetians who we speak to, Robert and I. The communication is done by writing. It's actually live communication online, not a separate topic.
Huh.
Oh my God, online. I know, crazy stuff, right? Well, that's how it is. It's been going on for 5 years.
Crazy.
Almost daily with breaks. I'm gonna get to your topic, okay? I'm just
No,
going.
I love listening to you, and I love
Okay.
She's on a
information you
mission.
share.
She's
This is
going
all good stuff. But
fast
I have to
forward.
take exception with one thing, Goshen.
Yes.
You went out of your way to say that there's nothing special about you or Robert. I have to disagree with that. We think you're special, but go ahead.
Thank you.
Special ed.
Okay. Well, what was I?
You have to be special ed to have that haircut.
So yes, it's been almost daily with breaks. Now actually we are coming out of a big break. We actually didn't have communication with them for 5 months since May, I think. And just recently, what about 3 weeks ago or so, I'm not good with dates, Yaski actually came back in communication with us. The reason why they were not in contact, and this happens sometimes, they're busy, they are doing other things, they're extraterrestrial, they live in a totally different reality, and we always have to be ready for anything unexpected to happen. We cannot be dependent on this for our existence here, and we have to be, like I said, ready for any changes to unfold at any point. And that's what happened in May. We lost temporary communication. They never left, as I was telling the people. They never. I didn't say they left because people were worried they left. No, knowing them, they wouldn't just leave. They are very attached actually to Earth, and many times their lives intertwine with ours. Their stories are related to ours. As they always say, the line between the extraterrestrial and the human is very thin, very thin, more thin than you imagine. But also there are huge differences at the same time. At the same time, two viewpoints at the same time. So where am I going with this? So yes, there was a break, and the reason for the break, as Yaski explained, was actually that among other reasons, it's never just one reason, and that's for everything going on. People always want black and white. It's always
Very well said.
multiple reasons that are involved around everything, each case. So among
Doesn't
other
matter
reasons, the
if you're
Federation
black or
actually has been tightening the regulations about the communication with Earth, and not just that, but even the visitation regulations and incarnations on Earth regulations. I haven't explored that too much with her. So they were basically cut off. And like I said, the Federation is this overall institution with so many different layers that they do have to obey in certain areas. So now we are back in contact, and it's not as frequent as before. But Yaski is popping in here and there, answering some of the questions. We are chatting, so everything is okay. I was a bit worried for these 5 months because we didn't know what was going on, and even though Robert and I were always ready for any changes, you still worry because they're your friends, and you want to know if they're okay. And there's so many things going on out there always. So I didn't know if they were okay. I was worried, but now anyway, everything is okay. We are back in communication. So
That's good.
introduction to your
All's
new
right with the
people
world.
if they don't know who we are speaking with. By the way, on our channel, my channel, Cosmic Agency, there are now almost like 400 videos done on every subject possible that you can imagine, from metaphysics, spirituality, spirituality, genetics, science, technology,
Mm.
navigation, history, ancient stuff, current affairs as well here and there are mentioned. Um, there is a huge playlist on Odyssey, not YouTube because it's censored, on Odyssey about what was going on in the last 2 years.
Hmm.
So if people want to know what the Tagetik Pleiadians have to say about the
That
what's
thing.
happening, that thing, we have a big list on Odyssey channel, Cosmic Agency. Sometimes people forget that because they only go to our YouTube channel and they think that's all there is. Anyway, I know I'm rambling, but I feel it's all important for the new people who don't know who I am. So, oh, one more thing, very, very important. All the videos actually have transcripts. So if you don't want to watch all the information on videos, which I know will take a lot of time, you can actually go to the website and read all those transcripts. And they're all free to download as PDFs. There are also translations done in many languages. You can also do a word search
Print it out.
for a specific topic like solar flash or something. And that information will pop
Definitely
up.
want to
So
check out her
maybe
videos
you're
on
interested
the
to know
thing
what the Tagetik Pleiadians have to say. So that's very important.
from
A
the
lot of
last
people are
3
looking
years.
for spaceships in the sky, but if you want to know what they have to say, then
I'd love to know
we
their
are
opinion
offering
on it.
that. That's all. We are just offering for you to decide if it's important for you or not. So races. Okay. So you asked about how do they see the racial relations, and
Yes.
you were asking whether they see any planetary or local race wars and all that.
Right.
Well, we never really talked so much about this topic with them. However, recently we had a conversation with Yaski, so I'll share with you what she said. Um, Maybe I will read and maybe I'll comment on something she said. She says that the cabal always uses everything possible to create separation between people.
That's right.
That involves
I agree with that. 100%.
but it's only one of the problems, one of the agendas, and one of the causes. Whether it's fighting over race, creed, gender, politics,
Yep.
abortion, no abortion, pineapple jam versus strawberry jam. That's her words. All those conflicts work together to make people fight
Strawberry
each other,
jam,
but
for sure.
they hardly work alone.
Strawberry
And that's
jam.
what they always stress, that people do not see that many of these agendas that are going on in the world are actually designed to work together. They think it's something separate. This is a vegan agenda. There is a electric cars thing going on, all that separately. But the point is that it all works together. That's how it's designed. People do not see these things working together, but as isolated agendas, and they are not. Um, so the race issues, or all these issues that work separately, they are not enough. She says they are not enough to cause the changes the cabal wants. So
Oh.
that's why they need multiple agendas operating at the
Yes.
same time on all these different levels. Especially if people are not able to connect the dots, and they
The
will
NPCs.
be dragged into these separate conflicts. So the race wars, as you're asking, she's saying, I would see that as only one more excuse to fight each other. Yet, as such, big or small causes for wars of any kind, I haven't seen such a thing in the planetary scale. And you also have to see that they are viewing us as a whole, more or less. They are viewing this from different levels.
Yeah.
And like for example, if you live in the USA, and she will mention that too, that's probably why you see that conflict more because that's on that level. Anyway, let me get to that point.
So, Ghosh, are you telling us that those of us that live in the USA, that the whole world isn't about us? It sounds like that's what you're saying.
I'll get to that. So she says, I think and feel that question or angle comes from people living in the USA. And actually, she didn't even know that you do. I
That's
just
amazing.
threw her that question, and that's it. Because it is there where race war has always been something present for the general population.
Yeah.
And, important point, as with everything else, it is highly manipulated and controlled via the media, not like something that the people themselves generate.
That's right.
That's the point that she gets
100%.
it's not something really that is coming from the people themselves, even though on the other hand, from another point, metaphysically speaking, everything is generated from the people themselves.
Divide and conquer.
We have metaphysical videos on that about how it's people, collective consciousness that creates and generates everything, including all the conflicts. But that's like another level.
Right.
But on another level,
Take it to a
it's
whole
usually the media
another
and the
level.
cabal behind the media that controls it is the one that creates all these different conflicts.
Correct. I like it. Very, very informative. Thank you for asking, and thanks to our friends for responding to that.
Well, okay.
No, if you're not finished, please continue.
Yes, I'm not finished. I wanna tell her that you said thank you, but I have more. Like for
Please.
example, other places like South Africa also have race wars and all over the earth. Some places more than others. She says, but I don't see it as something that would cause a war on a planetary scale. The relationship between races, it all boils down to what, in the end, what the controllers via the media want. People don't control that, not at that scale.
Uh-huh.
I already said that. And also she's mentioning, and here we'll get to something said about the white race.
That's on the
Yes,
media,
another
social
point,
media too.
what races? They are all globalizing, turning into, now, according to them, if a race is mixed a lot, and she's saying this based on the Centauri race. According to her, a lot of races are mixing in the A, and they turn into the sort of a Latino race that is like a mix. Because Centauri race, actually, they were humans before, exploited out there in space. That was like long, long, long time ago, centuries ago. And they were saved by the federations, and now they are extraterrestrials. But they're actually humans.
Interesting.
And they are Latino looking.
Okay.
Because they are a mixture of all these different races from Earth. So she's saying, what race? They're all globalizing.
Yeah.
All of them as in a mixed race through race mixing, mongrelization.
That's right.
And the first
That's what
race
they
at
want.
risk of disappearing
They want to whitewash
is the
us.
white race. Everything attached to whites nowadays. And now she's not saying this very super clear about this delicate subject.
Right.
You know, they are not here to be favoring the white race. They don't give two hoots about what race who. This is for them. It's ridiculous to be fighting over pigmentation. You know, that's what they said. However, you know, they are just observing the facts.
Yeah.
And certain facts are, as they are expressing here, not they. I'm talking. This is Yaski's words. That the first risk, the first place at risk of disappearing is the white race. Nowadays, everything seems to be attacking the white race.
Yep.
And now, even through this divulgation, this work that we are doing,
Even the aliens think that.
or me, because I am white and I have blue eyes. And let me tell you this: this happened on my channel. We have photos of them, which are sometimes a little modified, sometimes less, faces of them, and they are white, right? Okay, so, and I have comments from people saying, why are they white? Why are they only presenting them as white? I don't understand. Because they are white.
They're representing white because they're white.
They are from Tegeta. In Tegeta, I cannot present them as black people, and we have completely nothing against white black people. I would love to go to Africa and learn more about Africans. We don't have much information about them, unfortunately. But, you know, in Tegeta, there are no black people. They're all white. In Finland, where I am, they are all pretty much white. So if I'm going to be presenting Finnish people, I'm presenting them as white. I mean, I was supposed to feel bad about this. We are not Netflix. You know, just get over it. It is what it is. They are white.
Get over
and
it.
it's not because we are trying to favor the white. It's just that I happen to talk to Titanics. If I tomorrow meet Andromedan, I'll be presenting them as blue. If I talk to another race that is whatever orange, because those exist as well, I will be presenting photos or pictures of them as orange, because that's what they are.
Orange is the new black.
Actually not mixed very much. Each race and culture in the planet, they actually kind of lives separately in their cultures. Of course, they have
That's how it
intercultural
should be.
exchanges, and they are very living in peace and all of that. They are traveling and visiting each other. But it's not like on Star Wars,
Star Trek, yeah.
Well, they're all mixing together on a spaceship and they're living, communicating like this. Many times they can't because many of them they have different, like for example, even oxygen necessities. So very often they meet only through the holographic presence. So anyway, the
Beam me
point
up,
about
Scotty.
the
Thank you.
sorry, yes,
That's fascinating. Thank you.
the text. So that's what she said about the white race. And then, we feel attacked because we are presenting the victims as white. Well, that's what they are. They're other people. I mean, seriously, is that a problem? I mean, why do we have to feel guilty?
Nowadays, white is a problem.
What do you think about what I'm saying?
I think you're 100% right on, Gosh. I couldn't agree with you
Yep.
anymore. And I'm tempted to believe that there's no Coca-Cola in space either because they say be less white. So
Still like my Coke and Crown Coke.
So, and for example, here also, she says, she said, what do you want me to put brown contacts to make people happy? And also she says, and now not everybody on the ship has blue eyes. Actually, 4 crew members have brown eyes. So why is that even important? She said.
good point.
So, yeah, so that's what she mentioned in
I
a
have
conversation
hazel
about
eyes.
the race relations.
Almost
How
matching
not
that,
just,
actually.
something that they see in an isolated way from other agendas, but they don't see anything happening on a global scale in that direction.
Right. Somebody from the chat room. First of all, I was told to please tell Gosha to start a Gab channel. Somebody said please start a Gab.
What?
Gab.com. It's another social media thing. Somebody said please let her do that. And we have my lovely friend, the Crystalline Goddess. She asked, are there any black extraterrestrials that you know of?
Yes, there are black extraterrestrials. This is a very, very interesting topic, actually, that I would like to understand more myself. One second. Yeah. Okay. Because I myself am fascinated by Africa. I've never been there. As far as I went was Morocco. But I would love to go to like this deep Africa, somewhere. I feel there's like really mystical and ancient ancestral energy. There is something there, very deep history. However, we haven't talked much about that with them. There are African, of course, extraterrestrials, but they are not around. We don't know much about them. It could have been something very deep in our past. The influences could have been somewhere deep in our past, and they are just
Deep in
from what I know,
Uranus?
not around. But remember, there are like 400,000 humanoid races out there in space, and all of them are more or less looking like us, with more or less differences. So of course there must be a race. I don't happen to have a communication with them. If I did, I would present them as a black person because that's what they are. Um, so I don't have much more on this topic. Maybe we can deepen that
Okay.
with Yaski.
Excellent. Now, the one thing that's always, I've never been a Planet X, Nibiru, Hercule.
I'm a Planet Triple X.
But now, my wife has been been an adherent of that, and she's got me looking in the sky and looking at things. And Gosha, it certainly seems to the objective mind that as you look, there are some celestial bodies out there. There's something out there. Are they craft? Are there celestial bodies? What's going on? Are the chemtrails trying to keep us from being able to see all this? Do you have any personal insight on that, or in anything that you've received from our extraterrestrial friends?
Yeah, the only thing I have from them is that there is no Nibiru. I mean,
Really? Okay.
yes, and we have a video on that as well. If you want to look it up, what they said about that. I mean, they said to us, and it was a long time ago because we covered the subject a few years ago. They said we know all the arguments about the existence of Nibiru, and okay, in theory, it should exist. However, we are looking out. There's nothing here. We don't see it. And then they said also, okay, so maybe it's another density, right? Or it's another like a reality or something. Well, but if it was so, then it wouldn't affect Earth. So it would be nothing to worry about anyway, because you would be in a certain reality.
Yeah.
From where they are not seeing anything like that. But if you want to see more reasoning behind that argument, from behind what they they said. Then you have to look up that transcript. Sorry, my English is trash. Because it was such a long time ago when we did the video on the video, so I do not remember exactly what was said. But I do remember strongly that okay, it should be there, but it's not there. Maybe they don't see it.
Interesting. Very, very.
Maybe now you are talking about something else, some other celestial body. Something else. We are maybe not talking about the same thing.
Right. I get it. I get it. Now, do you personally, or do our extraterrestrial friends have any insight into whether or not chemtrails are partially there to keep us from viewing things that are out there in the skies around Earth?
We also covered the subject of chemtrails in several videos. It was not one video. Well, actually, that argument, I don't think I remember that argument being mentioned. That it's there to prevent us from seeing things. But my memory could fail me, okay, because it's
Sure.
so much information, almost 400 video. I don't remember every single detail. I do remember them mentioning the chemtrails and spraying all sorts of nanographene and all that.
Yup.
And also, interesting point we just mentioned recently about chemtrails with DAGR is that it's actually both sides spraying. It's actually, the negative regressive, so-called from our position, negative and regressive racists spraying whatever they're spraying. And that ties up with the chemtrail agenda that mixes with all the other agendas happening at the same time. And then come the good guys, and they are trying to neutralize what was sprayed by the regressive races. So it's like a constant competition at the same time.
Battle of the chemtrails.
Yes. And like for example, a lot of
Maybe that's why there's X's, and you'll see a lot of the
red
times where
coming
they
from the
cross.
sky, they sometimes like get stuck on the cars or something. Well, that's actually those nanotubes, graphene nanotubes. I don't remember the technical word.
Oh,
Coming
that's
from the
perfectly said.
yeah, okay. Coming from the chemtrails, but the chemtrails are there for multiple reasons. Multiple, like I always say, like I said in the beginning of this interview, nothing is ever for one reason. So what you are saying could be perfectly valid also because there are also so many races involved and so many agendas and so many different things going on. It could be true what you are saying. It doesn't eliminate what I'm saying. The chemtrails are never there for one reason only. I would have to go now on our website look for chemtrails to give you a big broader answer. But I think people could do it themselves as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Another question that I've had, and I have to be careful with what I disclose because I've been given some information that I'm not really able to totally disclose, but somewhere on Earth in the Americas, we received some information about a group of people that actually found a craft ghost. It was buried in the earth, and they dug down. They felt what seemed to be a metallic surface of the craft. They pulled out some bones, so there is some artifacts of it. Several of the people that were down there by the craft got very, very sick, Gosha, and some of them even were killed. Some of them died as a result. And there were many of them, well, there was about 30 to 40% of them were able to also see right in the proximity of the craft, they were able to see a portal, if you will, and they could look through and see other beings in that portal looking back at them. They seem to have found some beings in this craft that appeared to be about 9 feet tall. They appeared to be
The tall lights.
Their composition. What light can you shed on that from us for us? Either
They've been
personally
working
or
with us for a
looking
long
through our
time.
extraterrestrial
Probably the tall
friends?
lights.
Can you specify more a question about this?
Have you ever heard of anything like this before from the Tibetans?
About the spacecraft being found?
Yes, about a spacecraft being found on Earth. And let's talk about, have they ever talked to you about there being portals around wrecks of craft?
Okay, is this craft, is this a crash? Is this
Yes,
a crash?
it's a crash. It appears to be a crash. It's in about
Oh, okay.
about 100 feet down in the Earth.
Okay.
It's pretty, pretty, ground penetrating radar, visual inspection. It seems to be pretty well objectively identified that yes, there appear to be 9 feet tall beings.
Mm.
They think they're deceased inside the craft, but who knows if you open that thing up, right?
Yeah, and all I can say, I don't know this case. I don't know how. Um, all I remember them talking about crashes is that those that do crash are using actually not full spectrum of their potential of technology
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
some of the crashes, like for example, I think the Roswell case was mentioned here, happen with when some of their anti-gravity sensors are blinded by some sort of a technology that is thrown at them from Earth, and
Interesting.
something like that. We have to also look it up on
Sure,
our
sure.
website.
And
And
give the
then
website one more time.
swaru.org, SWARUU.org. And then what
Swaru!
happens, they don't have the backup technology to come on to sort of, to start working, and that's when they can be taken down. And that doesn't happen supposedly to the more advanced races who rely not only on one method of remaining on in the air,
Right.
but they have several different types of navigation, and we have described navigation methods in detail also in our transcripts. So, for example, they mentioned that that would never happen to Tibetan ship because if something goes wrong with one of these methods, they would use another. It would be very difficult. I wouldn't say impossible, I guess, but it will be more difficult. So most of these crashes are done on the less advanced uh, spaceships. That's very generalized because
Does
I
that
don't know
mean
if
you think, Gosha, in general, and again, generalizing, if it's a less advanced spacecraft, can we potentially extrapolate that it would be a less advanced race?
depends how you define the word advanced and in what areas. Because, for example, there are
What's in my mind, Gosha, is
yeah,
if it's lesser technology, perhaps they're less advanced, and maybe they would retain a very militaristic, non-benevolent type of a belief towards humans.
yes, yes, that's definitely possible because many of these regressive races are super advanced technologically, but not very advanced spiritually, and vice versa. For example, in Pleiades, there are races that are not interstellar, that are not interested in developing technology in that sense. They are still living in a very simple way, but they are very advanced, in different ways. That's why I'm saying what we have to define that word advanced because it could be also
Sure.
very subjective.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I would, and that would, you also asked about the portals around the ship.
Yes.
Yes, around the ship. I know that Tigetans use portals on the ship. Actually, each ship has a portal technology, also described in our transcripts. There is portal technology that they use. Actually, that's how they. Um, actually, the portal technology. Let me just not to get this wrong. Uh, Yeah, they have it, but they don't use it. They use when you want they when they want to travel, they travel through hyperspace directly. They see that as a more advanced way of traveling, but they do have portal technology,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure that other races as well. I hope I didn't get this wrong. It's just sometimes I get mixed up with all these details,
Sure.
which
Absolutely.
is a little pressure on me because I feel like I'm the only one talking about this and like representing this race, and I know most of the time they are watching, if not live, later on.
Well, you do an
So
amazing job, Gosha, and we appreciate you putting yourself out there. And we certainly understand there's language barriers, there's
yes,
certainly communication barriers between these beings and yourself. So we
okay,
appreciate it, and
yeah,
I find your work fascinating, what you say fascinating. And if you just want to, you can fit this within your worldview and maybe learn something. If you don't want to learn anything, then you're probably not on the right channel, to be frank with you.
yes.
But Gosha, have they ever said anything to you vis-a-vis this whole idea of a pole shift on Earth?
Pole shift?
Pole shift, yes.
Yeah, nothing like that is going to happen. It did happen after the Tiamat cataclysm, when the Tiamat was destroyed, and the pole shift did happen because it was a huge, cosmic event that
Hmm.
destroyed the balance of all the astral bodies and etc. However, nothing of that grandness is coming to Earth right now. We are actually very, very clear on that it's all more fear, and nothing on that cosmic scale is happening. This also relates to these huge solar flashes that people are always talking about. And we also explained the solar flashes what they are. They are very natural, cyclical event, and it's nothing. It's nothing to worry about. It's nothing to worry about. What we do have, what we do should worry about is more on what's happening on Earth with our government and with what's happening, and we need to be able to, take our position here with regards to that, and not worrying about future cosmic events that are actually not happening. It's more destruction.
Very
That,
well stated, Yosha. Very well stated. Now, in general, in your discussions with the Tibetans and what you have learned, my cat is trying to get into a drawer. It's so funny, cats.
Crazy
He's,
pussycat.
I have a bathroom here in my
Crazy.
studio, and he's using his paw to try to. He's mastered opening doors, the cupboard doors, but now he's actually learning how to pull open drawers, which
okay.
is crazy, and he makes a bunch of noise. But anyway,
And
do
you also
you?
have a cat. You have a dog, no?
Yes, we have a big German Shepherd as well.
Ah,
And
German
they don't
Shepherd.
get along. They don't get along.
I imagine. Uh, Mine here is
I saw him. What a cutie.
yeah, totally.
What a good boy.
Yeah, she's a good one.
What a
She's a
good
good one.
girl.
Anyway, sorry I interrupted you. I don't want to distract you with your question.
No,
It's
no.
fine.
Rooney, what are you doing? Come here. See if I can
Oh,
get Rooney.
okay, okay.
Here he is.
Rooney's always there.
Here he is.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that cute girl. And then here's Rooney, the new cosmic kitten.
Is this a girl or boy?
He's a boy.
Okay.
He's a boy. But what was I asking you about? Darn, I lost train of
Okay, I
thought.
know. You see, I knew that was going to happen. Polar shift. You asked me about polar shift.
Oh, I'm saying, in your talks with the Tibetans, and we'll start to wind things up. I really appreciate your time. In your talks with the Tibetans, and just you've been doing this for a few years now. Do you feel like you have become more optimistic for the future, or more pessimistic for the future?
Optimistic.
I would say, very, very, very interesting question. I like the question that no one asked me before.
Oh, good.
Yeah, pessimistic or optimistic. Kind of both at the same time. It's hard to describe.
Mm.
I do believe when they're telling us that what they see is more accelerated, and that's his word, more accelerated descent into more loss of freedoms and all that, and restrictions. And when she's talking about restrictions, it doesn't have to be like what happened in the last 2 years. They are kind of progressive and accumulative in the ways that people will not even be able to see what's going on. It's like
Mm.
gradually frying the toad in the pan.
Yes, that's how they like to roll.
So I see Yaski uh, not always really seeing our future in a very optimistic way. Um, she's seeing more problems happening and coming for us, but it doesn't mean that it cannot get better once we get through.
Oh,
But
we'll get
we have
through
to be
it. We'll
realistic.
win in the
And one
end.
thing that they are never
Sick
giving
sons of
us is
bitches are
false
going
hope
down.
and those ideas that everything will be okay, and especially not the ideas that there are saviors out there waiting to pick us up, or galactic federations of life and all that. We are very much against that, even though there is a federation, but it's not like what they claim to be.
I like it.
So they're always telling us the truth as it is, as they see it, and it's never we cannot be escaping the reality, and we need to face what's coming. It was the same when what happened in the last 2 years was coming. They actually were telling about this before it happened.
Oh,
I
wow.
People
remember
were
that.
telling that we are being negative, we're like creating this negative future, but
Hmm.
it happened. This is what's happening, and you need to be prepared for certain things.
Yeah.
So,
Always be prepared.
but it doesn't mean that they don't believe it's possible to turn things around because otherwise they would not be here. This is a war, and this war is happening on all sorts of levels, and we need to be strong and continue, and no matter what. And that's why they are here. Otherwise, they would be at home. They would be back already in their places if they didn't think that it's still possible somehow to push through. And even if we don't push through, and there will be negative times ahead, it's it's our job to be here and do this. This is what we do. This is who we are, and that's just that. And I am kind of detached from the result, as I sometimes say in their interviews. So I'm neither optimistic or pessimistic. I just go with the flow and I embrace whatever comes my way. But I know that I will always be me and I will always do what I do. And that is stand by what I believe to be right for me to be doing. And that's that. And that's what everyone should embrace who they are and where they want to be and
Gosha, that's very profound. I've never thought of this before. I've always been like the last of the great optimists, but as you were speaking, I realized optimist, pessimist, that can be another that can be another deception within this duality matrix. And if you're always optimistic,
yes,
you won't, you'll step out in the crosswalk even though the big truck is
yes,
coming. If you're always
exactly.
pessimistic, you'll never go out in the crosswalk
Yes,
even though there's nothing both ways. So perhaps optimism and pessimism, this is huge for me. Optimism and pessimism, again, are
exactly.
two extremes. Let's
Yes,
be realistic.
yes.
Let's deal with the reality as it comes, moment by moment.
Yeah, and let's not be afraid of that reality. It was coming moment by moment. Let's just be in whatever moment comes, and that's that. And yeah, I think I agree with you. I agree with you. It's not entering into neither of these poles, but just being. And
Interesting. And it's great to see Crystal and Goddess back. I've missed her. She's been absent for a while because it's once they cut you off, Gosha, it's hard for people to find you again. It really is. But we're very glad to be here. And Two Tree says that he'll be cautiously optimistic. I like that. I
yes,
like that.
if I was not at some point optimistic about this, I would not be doing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
If I believe that it was completely hopeless and there's nothing more to do. However, no, maybe I take it back. There's this spirit in me that I would be on the battlefield even if I'm the last one standing.
Me too,
So
Gosha.
that's just me. I just don't have it in me to give up. Like if I'm playing chess, for example, with someone and someone tells me checkmate, no, I'm not. I don't care. I still have to continue until the end. But if there is checkmate, I don't care. I need to be here until the end. And I don't know. It's something in me. So uh, you
That's
also,
fantastic, Gosha.
yes.
Fantastic. And
Oh,
you've given me at least one new thing to think about. As we wrap up here, can you just give us some advice? Again, you've been doing this 5 years. You've achieved a level of credibility, and I think people really like you and they see you and understand you as at least somewhat of an authority on what's going on in the world today and beyond. Would you share, if you would, if something comes to your mind, just a word of inspiration or a word of instruction to the people that are watching? So maybe next time they have a down moment or if they're laying in bed at night before they fall asleep, they can ponder and consider something that you feel with all of your context and information that might be very important for us.
I will worry about those questions because it's hard for me to come up with something
And
sometimes
what's the most important thing
on the
you've learned
spot.
in the last 3 months?
In the last 3 months,
What's the most important thing you've learned in the last 3 months?
only 3 months. Well, that goes back to July. Um, rewind what I did in that time. Um, I don't. I would just say, okay, I would just say that if you are down, if you are feeling a bit depressed, because actually I was feeling a bit down and lacking energy in the way that I get into didn't have a
Ah,
conversation. However, despite all that, I had this, I just know that there's no one but me to take care of me. And I knew that if I let myself fall down too much, then I'm only hurting myself in the end. And I felt this strength in me that was carrying me on. Um, okay, I'm just losing my words here. I'm feeling this in my like intuitive level, but to find this to describe this in words. In other words, if I don't pick up myself, no one else will.
That's right.
right.
That's strongly what I felt. That if I do not, if I do
Look
not,
after number
if I
one.
don't take care
Take
of
care of
myself, and
yourself
if I do
first.
not uh, allow myself
I
to
agree
be
with
to be
that.
okay and to be happy, no one will. No one will. I'm the only one that can do that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And um, I don't have any more inspiration. I don't
That's
know how to
that's
describe this. It's
that's
actually
very
something.
powerful.
No, it's something else that I'm feeling actually about this, but I will have to ponder this. And sometimes that's how it is with my videos. Actually, you see, that's why I don't do lives because many times I have certain feeling about something, but I kind of have to let it come out.
Mhm.
And I take notes sometimes, and then I make a video about that thought. So right now I have a certain idea in my head, but I'm finding difficult. I have a difficult time describing it.
I think
All
that's
I'm
very
saying is
powerful.
that, yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
All I'm saying is, in the end, there is all the strength in you to continue on. And if you don't believe that there is, it's sort of an oh, that's what it is. It's sort of an insult to the creative source that is within you. If you feel powerless, if you feel you can't, if you feel you do nothing, if you feel small, I feel this is an insult to whoever it is you are embodying, and that is the source itself. The source is not powerless. The source is not nothing. The source is not doing nothing in this life. It's doing. You are the testimony to the source itself being there, being present. You are alive, and that's the greatest thing. That's it. You don't have to be doing anything more sometimes to be the testimony to that creative power, to that source. You are it. So don't think you are powerless or small because you are insulting the source that is within you. That is you, and that's what gave me, I don't know, more strength to continue on, even though I was a bit down. I could go on about this. Uh,
Gosha, that's fantastic. And in these days, especially after what's happened the last 2 years, people have been alone. They feel lonely. They've been cut off. And, we got that whole lie, that lie thing that I guess Tom Cruise said in the movie, you complete me. No, stop looking for someone to complete you. You complete you.
Mm-hmm.
Gosha,
You have to
brilliantly
complete
said. I
yourself
appreciate
first
you so
before you can be
much for being
complete.
with us. We'll have to do this again and not wait so long next time.
well, actually, part of that is my fault because I know you sent me an invitation months ago and I didn't respond, right? I mean, I responded, but I said I'm not
Right.
ready because I didn't feel like it.
I know that you're a very busy lady, so I'm just putting it in early.
No, actually, yeah, no, actually, that wasn't because I was busy, but because I was in the moment where I didn't feel very interactive or I didn't want to talk to people. By the way, I usually don't talk to people on neither side. By the way, I was accused recently by someone that I don't engage enough in conversations, even with opposing views or whatever. And my answer to that is that person is watching or whatever is that as you see and you are a proof to that, I don't talk to anybody usually. I even
Right.
refuse interviews from the supporters like yourself. I just keep to myself, and it doesn't mean that I'm hiding or I have something to hide or I'm not able to face the arguments from the other side. It's just the quality of my personality. It shouldn't reflect on the content of our work itself. Our work has nothing to hide. It's not afraid of anything. And if I'm not engaging, it's because it's my personal style. I am this way, and I am a loner, and I don't talk to anybody. I don't have any friends. I rejected so many interview invitations. You're including, nothing personal. I was just in that mode,
Yep.
and that's just how it is. But it should not reflect on the Tagetes or Smart Reviews or their content. Um, you need to separate here a little bit me, my personality, and them. Um, anyway, that
Well,
person that may be watching knows what I'm talking about.
beautifully stated, Gosha. Beautifully stated. This is live from the Heartland. We're talking to Gosha from Cosmic Agency, swaru.com. Is that right?
Not org.
.org. And please give that to him one more time. Spell it for him one more
The
time.
website SWARUU.org.
Gosha, thank you so much for being with us. We'll look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Yeah, invite me again. I will come on. Maybe. I will.
Take care, Gosha. Thank you. Bye-bye. What a sweet lady, and what a great
I
source
love
of
Finnish
information.
people. They're
Do
awesome.
I agree with it all? No.
One of my
But I
favorite
learned
people is
something. It
Timu
expands
Solani.
my horizons
And
helps
Saku
me to see
Koivu is
things
a close
through a
second.
different focus. And
The
Gosha and I
Finns.
are very different, but we're also very much alike because
Nicholas Backstrom is
I do things
close
and
third.
say things and have a mission that's not always
Actually,
popular.
Backstrom's probably
It
second.
leads to a lot of criticism.
The
But I'm
goalie,
like
Nicholas
Gosha.
Backstrom.
If I'm the last one standing, as long as I have breath within this body, I will be speaking what I believe I'm here to speak. Thank you to all of the wonderful supporters of Gosha. If you'd like to come back every now and then to see what we're about, we'd appreciate it. But we thank Gosha very much. This has been live from the Heartland, and we wish you and yours the very best. And please remember, you're divine, you're sovereign, you're free.
That's right.
We are the last generation of real humans, and winning
That's right.
is our business. And cousins,
It's a booming.
that business is a boom. And I'm Jeffrey Darty, saluting you for being here, seeking after truth. Signing off from the Heartland.
Woo!
We'll see you
Signing
again
off.
very, very soon.
Tomorrow night. We'll be there. I'll be here live next time. Ooh, looks. This is what I'm gonna probably check out tonight. Full body. What's that say? Full body healing. Ooh, I'll definitely try that meditation tonight. Oh yeah. Video will play after ad. Ooh, L'Oréal commercial in français. I'm gonna save that. Pause that. Oh, it's only 3 hours. Sleep meditation, full body restoration. I'm just gonna save that because I don't really need that right now. My body's feeling pretty good after all my meditations. But anyways, another great show from JD. Just too bad I didn't watch it live, but it's nice to see him back on YouTube. So I can start doing some more live with daggers after the show live. I did like doing the older shows, but it's nicer to do the more recent ones. Not sure who's on tomorrow night. I'll have to check the schedule. But I'm gonna probably have to get ready for bed. I have to get up at 4 a.m. Do my 4 a.m. Rituals. Started that since I've been following Alex from Mosey. Fantastic. I actually just wrote down all his 13 books that he like he says he buys 50 books a year, but he only rereads these 13 of them, and only one of them I've read out of the 13, and I haven't even heard of half these authors. Obviously, one of them is his book. But there's a couple I want to read for sure now after seeing them on his list. And then I also saw a list of Tom Ballou's top books. There's a lot of books I need to read. That's the other part of my 4 a.m. ritual. I wake up, either meditate or read. I usually meditate first, and then read, and then breakfast, and then a bunch of different things, but vitamins again, and I'm gonna start as soon as my place gets a little more organized. I definitely want to go back to cold showers as well. So, and actually, there was an old bathtub in the house we just demoed, and I was like, oh, that'd have been perfect for a cold tub. Like put like ice in there, and like you go in there and you get nice and cold. Oh, that'd have been perfect. But unfortunately, I didn't know where to put it. So and it got demolished. But yeah, that would have been nice if I had the room for it. Nice old fashioned tub like that. But and that plate that today when we were digging out the basement, there's tons of watchtower stuff in there. So that place is probably cursed. Watchtower, oh boy, crazy. So much garbage and propaganda from there. At least that I saw today that I was tossing out, man. So back to work tomorrow. So I got to get to bed early. Early to bed, early to rise. I do kind of mix it up on the weekends because I do have my weekends off. So I'm guessing this we might be done tomorrow or Wednesday. I'm not sure because like I said, we're doing the foundations now. So and then we have the stones too that we need. So two boss is selling at 12,000 of them. So we will see the bricks, not stones. But anyways, so it should be an interesting day. It's always interesting because you never know what's gonna happen. So and it's supposed to rain again tomorrow. Fantastic! I was so dirty today, wet and dirty. So yeah, that was definitely fun. It's nice to get home and have a nice hot shower. But it's all fun and games. Like be a little kid getting dirty. And at the same time we were cleaning, it was like I was talking with Divan. We're like, oh yeah, we're treasure hunting, looking for anything that was in there. See if we can find anything decent, but no, there was nothing good. No money stuck in the wall or anything like that. So, well, maybe next time. We'll see. But this project's almost over, and we'll see what the next one is. Back at it again tomorrow morning. So we'll be probably doing my meditation and yeah, going to bed. That's probably the plan. I don't have anything else I need to do. Well, clean up. That's a no-brainer. But put my stuff away. Oh yeah, I gotta bring stuff downstairs because I used the plastic. I didn't have a bowl for my popcorn, so I'll dump my wings out and then I'll bring the bowl down and put it in the dishwasher, and then come back up and go to bed and do some little bit of sleep meditation as well. Gotta do those. Those help. Those help a lot. Every little bit helps, that's for sure. So that's it for now. We'll see you tomorrow live, chatting with the cousins, and then after that, late night with DAGR as well. So thanks again for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you soon. And yeah, can't wait. Can't wait for the next deep program. Indoctrinate yourself. Don't go in bed and need anybody's savior. Divine, sovereign, and free. All that good stuff. You all know what that is. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon on the next one. Bye for now. From Kanadistan. DAGR out.